Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is September the 30th. I'm going to do your Just for Today NA meditation. You can purchase that NA meditation book at na.org. Feel free to go to their website and order your meditation books so that you can follow along as I'm reading them to you. That would be wonderful. Now, I am brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D is an acronym, H-O-O-D, that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. Now, if you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Now, I know you're listening. There's some of you that are starting to interact a little bit more on the Gmail with me. And I just want to encourage you, even if you leave comments below, I do get alerted to them. I get notifications and I will respond to you. My response time is about 24 hours, but sometimes it's immediate. I would encourage you to start reaching out and participating with me in your recovery. You'll find that it's enjoyable, it's beneficial, it's healthy for you, and I look forward to it. Okay. Enough of that. September 30th, being ourselves. Ooh, sounds deep. Do I need more coffee before I read this? Our real value is in being ourselves. Basic text, page 105. Over and over, we have tried to live up to the expectations of those around us. We may have been raised believing that we were okay if we earned good grades in school, cleaned our rooms, or dressed a certain way. Always wanting to belong and be loved, many of us spent a lot of time trying to fit in, yet we never quite seemed to measure up. Now, in recovery, we are accepted as we are. Our real values to others is in being ourselves. As we work the steps, we learn to accept ourselves just as we are. Once this happens, we gain the freedom to become who we want to be. We each have many good qualities we can share with others. Our experiences, honestly shared, help others find the level of identification they need to begin their recovery. We discover that we all have special gifts to offer those around us. Just for today, my experience in recovery is the greatest gift I can give another addict. I will share myself honestly with others. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. You know, I just always, I don't know, that little prayer just really does something for me. But listen, let's talk about you today, right? Let's talk about being ourselves, the real value. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, growing up was horrific. My upbringing, I mean, my parents and all of that, they were just wonderful. They were wonderful. Um, however, however, dealing with my peers, because you gotta imagine, my father was Caucasian, my stepdad was Caucasian, and my mother was African American. And he entered into my mother's life at a stage where she was raising 6 children by herself. And the culture back then, the culture of the late 60s was deeply racial. We think now we're dealing with a lot of stuff, but at this time there were race riots in Chicago. It was deeply racial. It was not popular to be in a multicultural relationship, right? And so at that time, they took a stand for their love that they had for each other. They both had awful marriages, awful relationships, and they found something in one another that they wanted to be able to stand up against the world for. And quite naturally, all of us children, there was some sort of consequence for that we all had to deal with. And mine mostly, yeah, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then. Mine mostly beyond the street, and one street over to the left and one over to the right. So one street south and one street north of where I live. And probably two, so within a three block radius. And I can't even say a radius because if you cross Riverview Drive, if you cross that street, now you're entering into the north side. So I was deep east, right? And as you cross that street there, you would go into the north side. And we didn't hang out on the north side. We were east siders. So we can't take that, what I would call would be a west, we can't take that west border, right? But everything moving east, everything moving south and north, within maybe 2 blocks would be a safe call, 3 definitely heading east, okay, up to Dwight. Now, everyone within that area, we were either African Americans, Latinos, or Latino and African American, or African American and Caucasian. There was diversity beyond belief in our small community. The people that I fought with coming up, it wasn't those people, right? It was the people beyond the boundaries. The people that when the bus finally did get to our neighborhood, right, going to junior high and high school, everywhere else we walked, right? So when the bus would come, they would be busing in other children from the far perimeters, right? And so there was a lot of interaction on the bus, uh, after school, waiting for the bus. It was a lot of brutal interaction. Okay, so my upbringing was difficult. And this meditation is talking about how we wanted to be accepted by those around us. And I can verify with just my own story that I wanted to rock the boat as little as possible, because every day seemed like there was going to be some negative interaction and I was going to have to put my books down. I mean, it seemed like to me I was in a daily fight, and I know that's not the truth, but weekly I was involved in some sort of altercation. I don't know how I kept my studies up. It was a difficult upbringing. All I wanted to do was to look like the other children, be accepted like the other children. And I would say the majority of the people around me seemed like they were more wealthy. And if they weren't more wealthy, I know that they celebrated holidays. I wasn't raised celebrating any holidays. So the bounty that comes with birthdays and Christmas gifts and Valentine's Day, none of that. I didn't come up with that. That wasn't something we participated in as we grew up. even though today I do enjoy some of those holidays. Coming up, I to every day. If my mother looked at my shoes and decided that I needed a new pair, she went and got them, right? Um, with clothes, if I needed something different, I had a cousin that we were about the same size width. We were about the same width. She was about 6 inches wide, and I was probably 5.5 inches wide. Right? So we were slender, right? And so I could fit her stuff. And she was taller than me, so we could hem her hand-me-downs. Now, really couldn't do that with my brothers and sisters. My sisters, I got some of their shirts and stuff like that, but as far as slacks, I was too tall. And so I just really wanted to go back to school after the Christmas holiday, the 2-week winter break, and be able to say, I got some new clothes too. But that was not my story. So there was a lot of bullying and verbal abuse. I grew up, and I can verify with this, that I just grew up wanting to be a good kid and be accepted. That didn't happen by far. The people in my neighborhood, they know who they are. They know how much they mean to me, that they never participated in my face, at least. They never participated in the bullying, right? They know how much they mean to me. So, what was your upbringing like? And how many hoops did you have to jump through to be accepted? And then when you landed in Narcotics Anonymous, was there still this ideal that you needed to do something? And then what did you do when you heard the third tradition for the first time? The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. Some of us scoffed at that, a desire. Anyone can have a desire today and not tomorrow and still be a member. Like we were amazed at the way we were embraced. And we found out that we were okay to be ourselves, that we could actually come to a meeting, say what was on our mind, and not expect to be ripped about it. I don't know. It's a culture. I believe there's more people that need this program than actually have it. And I just want for you to start sharing these videos with people that you think, share it in a way that's private, right? But maybe on Messenger, private message, or in an email, start sharing these videos. The ones that these podcasts, these that mean something to you, that you can identify with. So, this Mighty Stream, she was on something today. I really want you to listen to this. Let me know if you can relate in any kind of way, because they may actually just be addicts in denial, not ready to acknowledge how dependent they have actually become on that alcohol every night or those pills every night. You know what I'm saying? They just may be in denial, and we can help them. We have the potential to help them because we found out that we have good qualities that we can share with other people, and we can sit down and have differences of opinion and not break out in a street fight. Oh my goodness, I had a sponsor. Oh, every conversation, I just had to be so tense, right? I had to she just seemed like everything she had to say to me was a heated argument, like a challenge or something. Eventually, I was able to get away from her, but it took a lot of courage for me to even stand up to that and say, I'm just not used to talking like that. That's who I used to be. And that was before I even picked up anything. Right? I used to fight all the time. So, no, I'm not interested in relationships that are so animated all of the time that make me feel on edge. And I think that's where I get this thing with people raising their voices and yelling. I don't do that. Right? I can. I can go 0 to 100 so fast your head will spin. I try not to, because that's a trigger for me. right? So today we're different. We can come into a meeting, sit down and share if we want to or not. But if you do, people get an opportunity to know who you are, and you get an opportunity to see that who you are is enough. That's a beautiful atmosphere. Today I want you to give your recovery, your experience, strength, and hope. Give that to another's suffering individual, another addict in a meeting, another addict that might need to hear that you too have been married 3 times, or you too may have lost custody of your children only to be reunited with them many years later after they're grown up so much and that they most of the time act like they hate you. Right? Someone else that's just now starting to go through CPS and losing their children because of their using, they need to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right? They need that hope that you can give them through your experience, strength, and hope. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful opportunity to be yourself. I want you to have a beautiful day on purpose. My name is Mighty Stream, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.